Hey everyone, and welcome to Botaduction. I see you, the brave souls daring to shape young minds. It's a noble mission, really, even if it sometimes feels like herding cats through a hailstorm. But hey, that's why we're here, right? Today, we're arming you with the pedagogical power of the gods. Or at least 3 really solid teaching methods every headmaster and headmistress should have in their arsenal. So grab your metaphorical mortarboards and strap in, because we're about to dive into the wild world of lectures, demos, and, wait for it, inquiry-based learning. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this wisdom with your fellow educators. Alright, let's be honest. The lecture often gets a bad reputation, and yes, I've witnessed my fair share of students perfecting their nodding off bobblehead act during a particularly monotonous professor's lecture. But here's the catch. The lecture, when executed well, is akin to a masterfully told story. It's captivating, it's enlightening, it takes you on a journey. Think about the great orators, the mesmerizing speakers who could hold an audience spellbound. That's the magic of a well-delivered lecture. Now, I'm not suggesting you need to channel Winston Churchill, but you do need to be clear, organized, and yes, a bit passionate about your subject. Enthusiasm is infectious. Plus, let's not overlook the practical merits. Lectures are efficient. You can convey a substantial amount of information to a large number of students in a relatively short period. That's a win for time-pressed educators everywhere. However, and this is a significant however, the lecture method does have its demerits. For one, it's a rather passive learning experience for our students. They're sitting there, absorbing the information. But are they truly engaging with the material? Are they asking questions? Are they making connections? Maybe, maybe not. And that's where things can get a bit tricky. See, passive learning can quickly spiral into boredom, and boredom, my friends, is the nemesis of education. Additionally, when students are merely listening passively, it's challenging to assess their comprehension. Are they genuinely understanding the material, or are they just adept at nodding and smiling? So, the lecture method, a classic for a reason, but it needs to be employed strategically and spiced up a bit to keep those young minds from drifting off. Let's dive into something a bit more, well, demonstrably engaging, the demonstration method. This is where you, the teacher, become a master craftsperson, a culinary wizard, a scientific genius. Essentially, you're showing your students how it's done, live, and in person. Think of it like this: you could spend an hour lecturing about the intricacies of baking the perfect chocolate chip cookie, or you could just bake the cookies right there in front of them. Which one do you think will be more effective? Exactly. The beauty of the demonstration method is that it taps into our innate love of watching and learning by doing. Our brains are wired for this. We see something done, we understand it on a deeper level, and we're way more likely to remember it, plus it's just plain fun. But let's be honest, demonstrations do require a bit more effort. You've got to gather your materials, plan your steps carefully, and maybe even practice a few times to make sure you don't accidentally set the lab on fire. Hypothetically speaking, of course. And, depending on the demonstration, it might take a bit more time than a straight-up lecture. Another thing to keep in mind is that simply watching a demonstration doesn't necessarily translate to mastery. Sure, your students might be able to recite the steps back to you, but can they actually execute them on their own? That's the real test. So, while the demonstration method is a fantastic way to engage students and bring learning to life, it's crucial to pair it with opportunities for students to practice and apply what they've observed. Remember, true understanding comes from doing, not just seeing. Alright, let's dive into the heart of transformative education. Inquiry-based learning. This is where we turn the tables, folks. Instead of being the sole source of knowledge, we become guides, facilitators of curiosity, and mentors in the quest for understanding. Okay, maybe that sounds a bit grandiose, but you get the picture. With inquiry-based learning, students take the lead. They're the ones asking questions, designing experiments, and digging for answers like determined young detectives. And let me tell you, it's incredible to witness. The beauty of inquiry-based learning is that it transforms students from passive recipients of information into active learners. They're not just memorizing facts, they're developing critical thinking skills, problem-solving abilities, and a genuine love of learning that will stay with them long after they've left your classroom. Now, before you go and overhaul your entire curriculum, let's address the elephant in the room. Inquiry-based learning can be messy. It can be unpredictable. It can feel like you're giving up control, and honestly, you kind of are. And that can be daunting, but it's also incredibly freeing. Because when you loosen the reins a bit and trust your students to drive their own learning, magic happens. You'll see them light up with curiosity, wrestle with complex ideas, and come up with solutions you never could have imagined. But, and this is a big but, inquiry-based learning isn't a free-for-all. It requires careful planning, clear expectations, and a whole lot of support from you, the teacher. You're still the guide on the side, remember? You're there to provide scaffolding, offer guidance, and make sure things don't go completely off the rails. So there you have it. 3 powerful teaching methods to add to your pedagogical toolkit. Whether you're captivating students with a killer lecture, sparking curiosity with a mind-blowing demonstration, or unleashing their inner Sherlock with inquiry-based learning, remember this. The best teaching methods are the ones that resonate with you and your students. If you found this video helpful, and let's be honest, how could you not? Give it a like, subscribe to our channel for more educational awesomeness, and share this video with your fellow educators. After all, sharing is caring, and we're all in this crazy, wonderful world of education together. Until next time, keep those minds growing.